its affairs and mandates as per the budget's process in this concern. The committee would like also to wish to extend its gratitude to the Nandi County Assembly Service Board. Madam Speaker, not to be forgotten also, I would like to thank the members and the technical team attached to this committee who were involved in the preparation of this report for their unwavering and statutory provisions as well as completed within stipulated time as directed by the Speaker's communication. Madam Speaker, it's now my pleasant duty and privilege on behalf of the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure to present this House this report on the progress of the proposed modern Nandi County Assembly chambers, offices, and auxiliary amenities. Madam Speaker, the construction of the new modern county assembly chambers, offices, and auxiliary amenities in the parcel number 42644/5/102 Kapsabet, Nandi County. As Nandi County, the building was launched in 2016 and will have 5 suspended floors with a gross floors area of 10,500 meters. According to the architecture design, the building will be more spacious with an expanded building gallery and the offices of the Speaker. The new facility is also expected to have gymnasium, a restaurant, a library, ICT center, and a chamber with a capacity of more than 72 representatives, building a public gallery and the Speaker's gallery. Methodology. The following were the method used by the committee to get its findings during the visit. Observation of the project visited. 1. Observation of the project visited. 2. Engagement of expert clerk of works during this visit to give well-informed status of the projects by giving an expertise explanation of what is expected according to the prescription and standards. 3, taking photographs of the projects. 4, engagement with the County Assembly Service Board. Commitment of the findings were, Honorable Speaker, the construction of the new modern Nandi County Assembly's chambers, offices, and auxiliaries amenities commenced on 10th October 2016. The expected duration was 220 weeks, until 8th January 2022. Hence, the work is behind schedule, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the total contract amount for the proposed new modern Nandi County Assembly chambers, offices, and auxiliary amenities were 469,994,000. Members, you can still read on the contractors' findings, and also you can still read on let's go to the, and you can see how those pictures are there, how the construction is going on. So, Madam Speaker, the recommendations were, the committee urges this House to adopt this report with the following resolutions. That the County Assembly Service Board, to ensure that the project is completed within stipulated time as per the contract. B, that the County Assembly Service Board to allocate funds in the financial year 2021-2022 for furnishing of the County Assembly Offices Complex. C, that the CC member for Finance and Economic Planning should honor and any certificates raised and approved by the relevant parties for payment without any delay. On behalf of the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure, I now wish to table this, the committee report and urge this House to critically look at the recommendations suggested by the committee and adopt the report. I wish to give Mr. Bwambok to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Bwambok and Honorable Ross. I now propose that the report on the status of modern county assembly chambers, offices, and auxiliary amenities be discussed. Honorable Mengech.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate the response from the committee, Honorable Ross and your team. It's me who requested a response from County Assembly Service Board. Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker, this report comes much later, maybe because of Corona or because of a lot of rain, I don't know. But fact is, I'm happy, Honorable Ross, maybe you should confirm to us in your final submissions whether the 37,782,147 has been paid to the contractor. Looking at the progress, it's going on. Unfortunately, your recommendation number A, to ensure that the project is completed within the stipulated time as per the contract. We are 2 years late, Honorable Ross and your team. We are 2 years behind schedule. So that recommendation does not hold any water. We are 2 years behind. Honorable Ross, I believe you and me wish to move to be the first people to occupy that office before we exit in August next year. So are you assuring us that the complex will be completed in the next 2 months, 3 months, 5 months? That is what I want to know. I want to move. I want to be the first member of County Assembly of Olesos to have used that office. And the main reason is I have occupied the Deputy Speaker's office for too long. I need an office to be able to see my clients. Number two, value for money. Value for money. I know within the next few months, the contractor will be asking for variation because by the time this contract was signed, fuel was 75 shillings. It is now 128 shillings. That contractor will be asking for variations, and it will be very costly for the assembly. I also want assurance that the 150 million that has been allocated in 2021, 2022 is for furnishing the assembly. Honorable Speaker, that is what I want to know. And then lastly, appreciating the fact that the quality of work, I have seen the quality of work.
Ujulishaji Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Honorable Fred.
Ningependa kujulisha rafiki yangu Mheshimiwa Lesos ya kwamba hiyo habari yote aulize kamati ya board. Mheshimiwa huyu si granja wetu wa bajeti, kwa sababu wale walifanya mambo yote, nafikiri yuko hapa atatuambia ilienda namna gani.
Thank you, Honorable Fred. On the same breath, Honorable Mengech, as Honorable Fred has just told you, if you look at the methodology, you will see that they also engaged the County Assembly Service Board. And we have a member in this house. He can be able to help this house by furnishing them with enough information pertaining what you want to understand. Carry on, Honorable Mengech.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was wondering whether this report should have been tabled by the County Assembly Service Board. Maybe that's the first confirmation. Who should have tabled this report? Is it the Committee on Infrastructure or the County Assembly Service Board? Let's get that one clear before I proceed, Honorable Speaker.
Information.
Honorable comment.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You do recall that the report that was tabled by the Service Board was referred by the Speaker of the day then to the Committee of Transport, and that is why we have this report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chulishaji Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, nafikiri waheshimiwa hawajanielewa. Mheshimiwa Mengeja ameuliza kuhusu pesa kama imelipwa. Hakuna mheshimiwa yote anajua, nafikiri wale wa bodi ndio wanajua kama pesa imelipwa. Sisi tuliuliza hii habari hatukupewa Mheshimiwa Speaker, mpaka sasa hivi hatujapewa. Ndio unaona nashangaa kwa sababu wakati hata ukiuliza kiranja wetu yeye hana habari kama ilipwa, kwa sababu ukiangalia ile habari iko hapo, hakuna mahali inaonyesha kwamba pesa imelipwa. Hiyo ndio maana nilisema wewe uliswe atuambie hiyo milioni 37 ililipwa.
Thank you, Honorable Fred. From the report that we have, we are able to see the matter has been paid to the contractor. But since we have the member of the service board seated here with us, and I believe the service board should have been the one responding on this statement, but I would also want to understand that when Honorable Mengech sought this statement, and it was given to the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure, although the Speaker had ruled that that committee be the one to respond, it's important for Honorable Comment to give reasonable feedback to this House. Honorable Comment.
Honorable Speaker, I think you've not understood my statement. We came up with a report, and when the report was being discussed, members were not satisfied with what was indicated in the report, and therefore it was referred back for more facts finding from the Committee of Transport. And that is why that is why we are indicated that we also gave our input. We also gave our input to the committee as directed by the Speaker then. So this is the second part of the report. The other report had been discussed here. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Fair enough. Honorable Member for Kosirai. 1 second, Honorable Mengech. Honorable Bwambok.
I am not member of County Assembly of Kosirai. You know, there is a
member
confusion.
for Lelmokwangechek, Honorable
Yes, that is
Bwambok.
it. Yeah, there was a confusion. You know, I wanted to sit down because when you mentioned Kosirai, then I...
Proceed, Honorable Member for Lelmokwangechek.
Thank you, Madam Honorable Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Madam Speaker. Honorable.
1 minute. Allow Honorable Bwambok to finish, then you can... Order, Honorable Ngetich.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, he's my neighbor, so neighborhood sometimes is a
Honorable
problem.
Bwambok, on what point of order have you risen? Have you risen to contribute or on point of order? Because Honorable Mengech has not...
to clarify to Honorable Comment something that it did not enlighten us to, because I am a member of Roads and Infrastructure, and the report...
Honorable Bwambok, you can make your clarification when you'll be contributing, because there's nothing like point of clarification. Order, Honorable Bwambok.
Okay.
Honorable Mengech, kindly conclude.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I've just seen in this report that this amount, Honorable Fred, can be informed on page 11. The last sentence of C, this amount due to the contractor was cleared mid-March 2021. We are happy that the amount was paid, and we hope these works can be completed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Fred.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Nimesimama kushukuru kamati kwa yale yote wamefanya, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuhakikisha kwamba hii habari imefika bungeni, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ingawa hii habari imechelewa, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu ukiangalia penye kiwango nyumba imefika, nafikiri hii habari haisaidii chochote, kwa sababu mpaka sasa hivi imefika mbali, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ndio Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi ni kamati wa barabara, lakini kuna mchezo pale ndani, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia yale inafanyika sasa hivi, kwa sababu hiki itaenda kwa mtandao, wananchi watashangaa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na hii habari nafikiri ni hesabu tu, kwa sababu tulirudisha ile ya bodi wakalete hii. Na tungependa kuangalia, kwa sababu ukiangalia mwaka yenye tulienda pale ni miaka 1119. Nafikiri tulilikuwa pale nikisimama mpaka saa hii, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na sheria inasema, sijui ni kipengele ngapi, Mheshimiwa Spika, inasema wasi ya kwamba wakati bunge hiyo imeisha, ile bunge nyingine haitaruhusiwa chochote ile tu kwa hiyo bunge, Mheshimiwa Spika, kama haijaidhinishwa chochote. Lakini kwa sababu sheria imefuatwa, sijui wala walikuwa wanasimamia, wala walikuwa bunge ya kamati ya bunge, Mheshimiwa Spika, walikuwa wanapitisha namna gani na wanajua sheria, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ndio ningependa kusema hivi, nikiangalia nikipeperua hivi, nikiangalia ndani, Mheshimiwa Spika, hata tukipitisha haisaidii chochote. Hakuna kitu inasaidia, kwa sababu naona tayari wameweka vioo, tayari kuna kiwango imefika, tayari ile uchunguzi tulikuwa tunafanya, Mheshimiwa Spika, ilikuwa ni ile vile nyumba inajengwa hapo juu. Ndio unaona Mheshimiwa walirudisha hiyo, sasa hivi nataka tupitishe ikuwe sheria. Ati ndio sasa itushikwe. Vile Mheshimiwa Spika, hapa bodi hapa iko na maneno, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na kesho ndawaletea habari kamili, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, na sabatia nyinyi muktasari, Mheshimiwa Spika, ndugu yangu ameambiwa aende and corruption afungwe jela kwa sababu County Assembly imenunua shamba 2, Mheshimiwa Spika. Wameshunua shamba ingine pale na amenunua ingine banda ile, Mheshimiwa Spika. Yale mambo inafanyika hapa, hii kitu nataka nipitishwe ndio sasa iwasaidie wale walirudisha, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mimi ni mmoja wa kamati ya hiyo barabara, lakini nimeomba bunge hii waangushe hii habari, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa sababu kuna mambo mengi, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa nini waende watoe ile vitu iko ndani? Kwa sababu tulirudisha ile na ilikuwa inahusika na mambo ya shamba. Kama tulirudisha kwa bodi, wamekuja kwa barabara tupitishe. Si tayari tumepitisha ile siku ile. Mheshimiwa, lazima muangalie jambo yale inafanyika. Lazima muangalie mzuri. Mimi nikiwa kamati hatujawahi kaa chini tuongee juu yake. Inakukata tu kuona hivi na inaingia kwa bunge, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ile ndawaletea kesho habari kamili. Wale walifanya yale mambo ni mwaka 1114 15 na watu wanaitwa saa hii. Niliwaambia siku ile mtakuja kushikwa baadaye, hata kama umeenda nyumbani. Mimi juzi nilipatia ujulishaji watu wangu wenye walinipigia kura. Wakati walisema wanataka shahada degree sina. Nikamwambia watu wangu, mnidai saa hii kama uko na deni, kwa sababu kesho itakuwa na pesa. Nimeona mbele ni ngumu. Mjipange saa hii, kesho mtashikwa jela. Wacha niwaambie, yale mambo tunafanya hapa, mtu akienda kotini. Kwa maana mtu mwingine alikuja akasema ati juzi ile habari tulipitisha. Walisema walitengeneza kalbati ya milioni 25 hapa chini. Na hiyo kalbati hakuna mpaka leo. Wakati niliona wabunge wameanza kukasia sana, nikachangia nikasema hakuna, na nikasema siungi mkono, kwa sababu wakati watakuja kama nimeenda nyumbani nitaambia wale walio wengi walishinda, lakini angalia report ilisema nini. Msipitishe vitu ovyo ovyo, angalieni kwanza ndani, peperusha ndani. Unaona hii habari hatujapewa bungeni, tungeletewa hapa tusome kwanza, tuangalie kama inafanyika. Hii nyumba iko na maneno. Wakati nilikuja hapa bungeni, kwa hiyo habari tulikuwa tunaulizwa, mimi ndio nilikuwa nimeitwa nikuja nitoe taarifa kamili ama muhtasari. Baada ya hiyo nikasumbuliwa siku kuongea juu yake, nikaambia wale nilikuwa nauliza wakaleta ingine tofauti. Nikaona kuna maneno hapa ndani. Ningependa kuambia wabunge tukue waaminifu kwa yale yote tunapitisha. Kwa sababu ukipitisha umekubali imefanyika. Ukipitisha habari umekubali hiyo bunge iko sawa. Tukauliza ile orodha ya ujenzi ya hii nyumba inaonyesha inajengwa nini na nini. Haijaletwa mpaka leo. Na hii habari imeletwa hapa. Mheshimiwa, hii kitu tuangushe, waende warudie, wakutane na serikali. Hata tusipopitisha leo, watakuja kuulizwa siku nyingine. Nafikiri yale nimesema, nimeomba waheshimiwa muangalie mzuri, muangalie kama hii kitu tuangushe, hakuna kitu nasaidia.
Honorable Cynthia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to say or make a few comments on this report, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to start from the obvious, which is the committee clerks of this particular committee, Honorable Speaker, need to be able to pull up their socks, Honorable Speaker. The report is not flowing, and secondly, there are a lot of issues that have been left out and a lot of misspellings, Honorable Speaker. For instance, on page 6, the 4.1, the contract period, says that blah, 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 and the expected duration was 220 weeks until 8th January 20, we don't know, 2020, 2021, or 2023, Honorable Speaker. And again, Honorable Speaker, on the same, on page number 7, where we are talking about the contractors, that is the table. Of course, the table is not named, but it is the table immediately under 4.3 contractors. There is the last item, that is the Disney Property Limited. Under the scope of works, as you can see, there's a lot of mix-up, Honorable Speaker. On 1, it says scope of work is main contractor. You know, it does not make sense. And on 2, on 3, the scope of work says the plumbing, drainage, and firefighting, which is done by the, it's mixed up, Honorable Speaker. It's not flowing. And now on 6, under scope of work, it's talking about HVAC subcontractors. I don't know if the Disney Properties Limited was the main contractor. I don't know, Honorable Speaker, it's just not flowing. And of course, on page number 8, under 4.34, a supply of funds, I think it was the funds of A, Honorable Speaker, not you, because that will be funny, funds for funny. Honorable Speaker, those are the obvious issues. Again, Honorable Speaker, allow me to speak to the recommendations. And Honorable Speaker, before I speak to these recommendations, like Honorable Mengeche had mentioned, I think this is a result of delaying with the reports when they are asked from this County Assembly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you see the response or the recommendations in this particular report are speaking to many things that have become past tense, Honorable Speaker, including allocation of funds in the financial year 2021-2022. It is a budget that has been passed, Honorable Speaker. So it is inconsequential whether we adopt or we don't adopt this report, Honorable Speaker. And as Honorable Fred has spoken, Honorable Speaker, he is a member of this particular committee. And of course, I appreciate him because he does not speak from the two sides of the mouth, Honorable Speaker. He has not signed this report and he does not agree with this report. And Honorable Speaker, allow me to go to Fred's route, Honorable Speaker, because if we adopt this report, Honorable Speaker, like today I was going to town with Honorable Gideon, and I was telling him, I'm so surprised that there were already window panes already installed in the building, Honorable Speaker, and I need to visit the building. But from what we are seeing from here, Honorable Speaker, these are things that are way back, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that I do not support this report, Honorable Speaker, and I want to urge the honorable members of this House to be able to throw this report away, Honorable Speaker, because it does not reflect the true situation of the status of the construction as it is, Honorable Speaker, right now. And Honorable Speaker, I would like you to be able to communicate on this issue, Madam Honorable Speaker. The issue of bringing the reports that are asked by this County Assembly, especially on statements, on time, Honorable Speaker. If this report had come, had been brought to this House on time, we would not be having these issues because it would have reflected the situation of the building as at that time, Honorable Speaker. It's a little too late, Honorable Speaker, and that is why there are so many issues here. And Honorable Speaker, among the issues that were raised about why the building has stagnated, and of course the timeline that is 2 years late, Honorable Speaker, has not been met, some of the reasons, Honorable Speaker, given are very interesting. Among them is adverse weather impact or conditions, Honorable Speaker, that there were long rains. Honorable Speaker, I think as a county right now, we are praying for rains for the longest time I remember. I don't think that is really a substantive reason why the works have been stagnating. Honorable Speaker, COVID-19 came in 2019, 2020. And the people who work in a site, Honorable Speaker, I don't think there are 1,000 people. There are barely 100 people, Honorable Speaker. So there's nothing substantial about COVID-19 having affected the works in the construction, Honorable Speaker. It's not like they sit close to each other. Everyone is working. The other one is bringing in cement. The other one is mixing them and measuring the ratios, Honorable Speaker. That one doesn't hold waters, Honorable Speaker. Maybe on the issue of delays of payment, Honorable Speaker. And I want to support this committee's recommendation number C about honoring certificates that have been raised by the contractors, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is not possible for you to tell someone to work and you're not giving them the tools to go to work. It does not make sense, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I don't support this report in totality.
Thank you, Honorable Cynthia. Honorable Koech.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise also to give comments on this report, and I think I want to join the rest in saying that this report is actually somehow or actually late in the day, and to make matters worse, Honorable Speaker, is also a bit sketchy. If you are given this report as an explanation to the status of that particular building as it is currently, you cannot get a clear picture. You cannot get a clear picture. The reason as to why the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure was referred to handle this matter was to be able to bring a very concrete statement or actually report. But when you look at even the breakdown of the contractors that are working on the site, the description of the works, some are even kind of overlapping. So they should have, and I have seen the methodology they were talking about, that they engage an expert who is a clerk of works. Clerk of works here will always give you a story because based on the contractor on site. Is that really engaging an expert? It should have brought somebody else to be able to analyze and give them a report about the building. But the clerk of works is an employee, so he's giving the site based on who employed him or what is his scope of work. And nobody can indict himself. Because if there is an indictment, the first person to be indicted in that particular scenario is the clerk of works. So I think I join the rest in saying that this report is not a very good report. Honorable Fred, as a member of the committee, and the entire team, Ross being the chair, or who actually presented this report, the outcome that was needed from this report should have given us a very clear picture on the status of this particular building. On the reason as to why it is 1 year, it's I think 1 year or 2 years behind schedule. But when you talk of COVID and adverse weather condition, I don't think in Nandi we have had storms that warrants people to stay out of this building. That there is a risk of collapse, because that is the only way adverse condition can cause people to go outside the site. The elephant in the room is delay in payment. And this report is not giving a solution that indeed the remainder of 100+ million would be paid as per schedule or as per the certificate raised. So, to the best of my knowledge, I think my understanding of this report, it is not giving us the clear picture, and I think the best way to do this matter is to still give the committee, and if need be, other members of this particular assembly to be able to keenly interrogate within a certain time frame and give us a report in as to how this particular building can be completed in the shortest time possible. As Honorable Mengej said, it was started in the previous assembly, 2014 or 2015, thereabout. It is now 2021. We should have been the assembly to be able to use this particular building. But we are almost ending this term. Though we are praying hard and working hard that we are part of the third assembly, it should have been in use in this particular tenure so that we can get value for the money. As Honorable Mengej said, we cannot be just going to the Leader of Majority's office and the Deputy Speaker's office when we have visitors. We should be having our offices here to be able to attend to our electorates whenever they visit this particular assembly. So I agree with the rest that this report is not conclusive and thus does not warrant an approval by this assembly. The most honorable thing is to reject it. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Spika,
Honorable Fred.
ningependa kupata taarifa kwa kamati ya bodi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kama kwa sababu wakati ya hii mtu ilikuwa imeisha, walitangaza. Alafu ya pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, wale mfanyakazi tulikuwa tumeandika kuangalia hiyo nyumba, kama wakati imeisha wanalipwa na nini? Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia yale inafanyika sasa unashangaa Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu muda hiyo engineer imeisha, inafaa atoke watangaze mwingine apate, lakini naona anaendelea kujenga. Ndio ningependa kupata habari, pengine kuna njia walifanya yenye si halali, Mheshimiwa Spika, tupate tuone vile tunafanya, kwa sababu imekuwa ngumu Mheshimiwa Spika. Tunaangalia maajabu ya kumalizia Mheshimiwa Spika, kulikuwa na mpangilio ya kwamba tumalize hiyo nyumba alafu tujenge maofisi ya waheshimiwa kwa kila wadi. Nafikiri tulikuwa tumeweka mpangilio hivyo. Na hiyo pesa ya sasa yenye unatumia ni halali. Kwa sababu pesa ya mwaka hiyo ingine na hii ya mwaka hii ilienda namna gani? Kwa sababu tulielewana, tulikuwa tumeweka hiyo pesa. Tukimaliza hiyo ofisi, hiyo budget ingine inaenda, tulikuwa tumeweka bilioni 1 kwa kila wadi wajenge ofisi. Mheshimiwa aenda atoe mahali na jengwe kwa hii bunge yetu, lakini ndio naona nashangaa saa hizi sijui mpangilio ilibadilika namna gani. Ndio ningependa kupata habari kwa ofisi yake, atatuambia ilifika wapi.
Honorable Fred, your concerns are very valid, and I would ask you to be able to seek a statement properly from the member of service board of the service board, so that he can bring you a comprehensive report, because what you're asking is very valid. Honorable Murray.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I've also stood so that I raise my concern about the reports we are getting from this committee. Madam Speaker, those of us who are privileged to be in the first assembly, that was a time when this construction started, and we were very much hopeful that if we get an opportunity of coming back, that was the time we expected to come and enjoy the services of the new building, Madam Speaker. But to my surprise, Madam Speaker, it is becoming apparent that even those who will get an opportunity of coming back, and then the new team, if at all there is going to be a new one, may not be able to use the facility. And actually, it's actually because from what we are getting here, the anticipation is very low. And even the percentages of completion we have been given here is still too low, Madam Speaker. And if at all the building is not going to get funded because of whatever reasons, this building will remain a white elephant, Madam Speaker. So this report, we expected to give us, to be somehow comprehensive, but the way it is, the way it looks, it is so shoddy, Madam Speaker. So I also want to say, as for now, I'm not supporting it. Thank you.
Honorable Ngetich.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for also giving me to contribute to this motion. On the onset, Madam Speaker, I stand to reject this motion. One of the reasons, Madam Speaker, this report actually doesn't respond what was asked in the House, Madam Speaker. They should have given us the reasons, even though in the methodology they have said that in number 4, engagement with the County Assembly Service Board, they have not given us how the Assembly, the reasons why they have delayed, how the payments were made, when is the service board expecting this facility to be completed, what was the challenges. That is why I am saying that this report, Madam Speaker, is not responding to the statement sought in this House. And I request, Madam Speaker, I think the committee should be given some time maybe to revisit it, taking into consideration also that from the time the statement was sorted up to now, it has taken too long, so that they can come out maybe within a week with the latest report of the project and the fine details where it has reached and when are they expecting to be to complete. We have heard one of the honorable members that saying that we should be the first ones maybe to use the facility. And I want to concur because according to the agreements, this project should have completed. So we want to get the full report, and maybe since it has delayed, when is it expected to be completed? If not, what are the reasons? So, Madam Speaker, I also stand to oppose.
Honorable Comment.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. May I start with congratulating the committee for coming up with a good report. So there are some issues that need some clarification from the report, but I would wish to go straight to some of the areas that are mentioned here. You know, in construction, every aspect of weather is captured. So if there's anybody who has any doubt, the clerk of works has a report in terms of how adverse weather impacted on the project. It should actually be clear that you cannot put a slab when it is raining. It is normal. So everything is actually captured, and I do not really understand why one of the professionals in that field is not able to understand what adverse effect implies. It's actually, it's very clear, and it's captured in the logbook. It's actually logged in throughout. Secondly, I think we are forgetting too fast. Even as we closed this assembly, when COVID came in, and everybody was scared about COVID. So if you want to say that it did not affect, I think we are lying to ourselves. It is true it affected. It is very much true, because everybody knows that we were scared. We are still even scared up to today. We are on masks. I think that is self-explanatory. I would want to thank members for understanding that that part of due to delays, delays are been occasioned by the executive, and in that regard also, the service board does not pay because they have to, because they want to pay. Certificates are raised, and then when it is raised, then it pays. When it is not raised, we have nothing to do with it. We have to wait until the building is assessed to the satisfaction of the public works that it requires payment. So I think the issues of payment is supposed to be resting there. There is an issue that Honorable Fred raised, that what happened with the other money. This house, through supplementary, were able to reallocate that amount to even water, where it was again reallocated elsewhere. So it is an open book. I would actually say, however, how many times we want to really say that that the works going on there be assessed, the results would still be the same. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Bombok.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also wish to thank my team, the Committee of Roads and Infrastructure, for the fair work they did. Others, we looked for experts. So whatever the comments we have just put here, I know others are technical works, and others are natural calamities, which we cannot go beyond. For example, when they say during the rainy season, even landslides affected Tindri, and a member of the marginalized did not escape. So you know that some heart could break from the habab and the stones could come down, and we had even of the families which were destroyed. So there was no risk of just putting a lot of resources and then you risk again continuing with the work. I think the team did very well, including myself, and it's fair, Honorable Speaker, that we pass, because I know each one and every one of us would wish to be in that chamber. And it's almost, those are minimal issues, so that you will just pray only that the electorate will make fair claim, so that you come, you will just enter in there. So let us not reject again what we have done with a lot of sweat. As members of the team, it's not an easy task to just use another, even most of us, we are not technical in architectural work. There are some experts. So my honorable members have done well, and I hope I am urging them to pass, so that at least I know each one and every one of us would wish to be there, and we will be in that. Even Honorable Mengej has said, and most of the times he has been saying he will be number one, even to have his room already cleared for him to work there. Thank you, Honorable.
Honorable members, in the spirit of oversight, I want to ask all the chairpersons of the various committees that whenever your committee has been sought for a statement, ensure that the timelines that you've been given, most of the time we give 14 days for you to respond. Ensure that you actually respond in the 14 days, because it is pointless. It is pointless for us to have a report in this House after 6 months. Most of the issues that the statement sought to address will have been overtaken by events. Honorable members, especially the chairpersons, ensure that you respond in time. Honorable members, I also want to ask those who seek statements, if the chairpersons of the committees that you have sought the statements from are taking time and dilly-dallying around, ensure that you pursue them also. It is also still right for you to do this, to remind them in the spirit of oversight. Honorable Ross, you want to give right of reply before we can put the question?
Madam Speaker, I just want to thank honorable members, and I just want to thank my members who have come with this report, collective report that I hope all of us, we wish that we use the chambers, our members. So I just want to thank you for the giving us your views. So I just wanted to still tell you that we wish that we use that assembly, that as we really wanted to use the assembly. So I just want to urge you that please let's see that we give it's our collective responsibility that all of us, we see what we shall do so that we can see that one day we use that assembly. So I just want to thank you, members. I hope because the challenges that we had were actually obvious because of the COVID, so, and even rain, so that that house is delaying. So I just want to thank you, members. I hope we shall see what to do next. Thank you.
Judging from the mood of the House, I will proceed to put the question that the report of the County Transport and Infrastructure Committee on the status of modern county assembly chambers, offices, and the auxiliary amenities be adopted. Will as many as of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay?
Nay.
I will repeat, I will put the question again. I will put the question again. Will as many as of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay?
Nay.
She did not. You are on procedural.
That was not quite clear, honorable members. I would ask the clerk to call out the name so that we can be able to vote properly, so that we get to know the true picture of that.
Inquiry, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Cynthia.
Allow me to maybe just ask a procedural question. Honorable Speaker, of course, reading the standing orders, it clearly talks about when the ayes and the nays voices, of course, are not clear, you repeat. And Honorable Speaker, the persons are supposed to stand in protest after you declare the vote, whether ayes have it or nays have it. Honorable Speaker, they stood without you declaring whether the ayes or the nays have it, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Cynthia, from where the chair sits.
Point of
One
clarification.
second, 1 second, Honorable Gideon. From my point, Honorable Cynthia, it was not possible to distinguish who carried the day. The voices were almost, they were almost the same. Honorable Gideon.
Similarly, on the same, Honorable Speaker, the roll call for maybe voting is called, or actually voting is called, if at least seven members or more than, I think it's 7 or 5, 5 members. I didn't see whether the number fitted the situation to call for a
Honorable Gideon.
7.
Thank you for your concern. Those who stood up were 5 in number, and it's important that we respect them also. Honorable Clerk, carry on.
Honorable Pius Singoe.
Absent.
Honorable Kedogo Jackson Swadi. Honorable Sam Wilson Kipkirui. Honorable Samuel Kipkurui. Honorable Chumba Milka Cherobon.
Aye.
Honorable Chemnyango Justin. Honorable Geoffrey Imbuji. Honorable Kipkemboi Frederick.
Apology. Nay.
Honorable Kirongo Eliud.
Not inside.
Honorable Mayor Charles Chaco. Honorable Murray Bius.
Nay.
Honorable Clara Chepkemei, Honorable Chepkoech Chen, Honorable Chepkoskei Cynthia,
Nay.
Honorable Chepkwany Philip,
Nay.
Honorable Cheruyat Elvas, Honorable Rose Chesang,
Aye.
Honorable Chemutai Nancy, Honorable Kiblagat Kebene John, Honorable Kibet Kering Januarius, Honorable Kiblagat Walter,
Aye.
Honorable Kirwa Douglas,
Nay.
Honorable Kipchirchir Kirwa Robert,
Nay.
Honorable Kibiego Koech David, Honorable Kipkemei Koech Gideon,
Nay.
Honorable Kimeli Korir Charles, Honorable Komen Osborne Kibiago,
Aye.
Honorable Chebito Mayo Teresa, Honorable Gipkoske Maruwili, Honorable Maroga David Wambok,
Aye.
Honorable Kipkoske Ngeti Joshua,
Nay.
Honorable Margaret Nyauntu, Honorable Kipkirong Rono Emmanuel,
Nay.
Honorable Chepta Rono Magdalene, Honorable Rail Rotich,
Aye.
You get it through.
Honorable Kiptarbei Sangapol, Honorable Kiptanui Sere Milari, Honorable Kipet Cornelia Some, Honorable Trupa Sakuto.
7-7. Tie. Tie.
Honorable members, you saw that the margin was very small, but the nays have it. Next order.
Order number 9, adjournment.
The House adjourns until tomorrow morning.